Hello and welcome to AWS Athena Training. In this training, we will be focusing on discussing how users can use AWS Athena. A quick overview. In Amazon Athena, we can run SQL queries directly on data anywhere else. Athena uses the AWS Glue Data Catalog, an external Hive metastore, or even federated connectors to query other data sources. We can analyze data where it already lives, using standard SQL, and get results quickly without managing any servers. Upon opening Athena, you will be redirected to the query editor. In Athena, data is organized in a clear hierarchy. At the top, we have a data source, which represents a group of databases. Each database then contains a collection of tables. And finally, a table is where the actual data lives, organized into rows and columns that we query using SQL. There are a few naming rules to keep in mind when working with Athena. First, database, table, and column names are limited to 255 characters. If you exceed that, Athena will throw a validation error. Second, always use lowercase names. Athena automatically converts table and column names to lowercase. Even if you define a column with uppercase letters, Athena will store it in lowercase and handle the conversion for you during queries. Using lowercase from the start avoids confusion. Another thing to watch out for is names that begin with an underscore. If your table or column name starts with an underscore, you must wrap it in backticks when creating or querying it. This ensures Athena interprets the name correctly. If a table, view, or column name starts with a number, you need to wrap the name in quotation marks when running SLX statements or creating views. This tells Athena to treat it as an identifier, not a number. For column names, especially when using complex data types, there are stricter rules. Only letters, numbers, underscores, and periods are allowed. This keeps nested and structured data clean and predictable. Lastly, reserved words. Some words are already used by SQL, like select or date. If you need to use a reserved keyword as a table or column name, you must escape it using backticks in DDL statements. Before you start querying data in Athena using Glue integration, there are a few prerequisites. First, you need to have an AWS Glue database. This acts as a container for all your tables. Next, you need an AWS Glue crawler. The crawler scans your data in S3 and automatically creates table def, and finally, ensure that your tables are properly defined and available in the Glue catalog. Without these steps, Athena won't know where to find your data or how it's structured. Here is a quick step-by-step procedure to access the query data catalog. First is by signing in to AWS Console. Then from the home page, search for Athena, and then click on Launch Query Editor. For this training, under Data Source, choose AWS Data Catalog, then FT by Training DB as the database. Click on the three dots beside the table name, then choose Preview Table/Data. A query will automatically generate. Highlight the SQL script generated, then click Run. A quick note that the table name is automatically created based on the folder name. Above the data results set, you can choose to download the data by clicking on Download Results. The auto-generated query usually only selects 10 rows. You can customize this based on your use case. Lastly, you can create a table/view based on the SQL query script. For example, if you want to merge multiple tables under the data catalog. Moving on to workgroup settings, here is a step-by-step procedure on creating a database in Athena. First is open Athena. If this is the first to visiting the console for the current selected AWS region, explore the query editor to open the query editor. Otherwise, Athena opens in the query editor. Choose Edit Settings to set up a query result location in Amazon S3. There are two ways to input on Manage Settings. First, in the Location of Query Result box, enter the path to the bucket that you created in Amazon S3 for your query results. Prefix the path with C3// or simply click on Browse S3// or simply click on Browse S3 bucket that you created for your current region, and then choose Save. Upon completion, click on the editor to switch to the Query Editor screen. Here on the right navigation pane, you can input query statements and run. To create a database, follow the syntax. CREE Database My Database on the query editor. Then simply click on Run or QTL++, enter. Upon completion, it should appear on the database list. Choose the database you have created. In Athena, there are several common table actions you should know about. Preview Table lets you quickly see the first 10 rows of a table. It runs a simple select from database_name table_name, limit 10 query in the editor. Generate Table DDL creates the SQL statement needed to recreate the table. Athena does this using show create table_name, which is handy for backups or migrating tables. Load Partitions runs MSEK repair table_name for tables that have partitions. This ensures Athena recognizes all partitions in your S3 data. Delete Table will show a confirmation dialog, and if you proceed, it runs drop table_name to remove the table from the catalog. Lastly, you can also create tables manually. To manually create a table in Athena, start by selecting the database from the database menu where you want the table to reside. If you don't explicitly specify a database in your CRE8 table statement, Athena will create the table in the database currently selected in the query editor. Next, enter your Hive DDL create table statement in the query editor. This defines the table name, columns, data types, and optional partitions or properties. Finally, execute the statement by clicking Run or pressing Ctrl+ Enter. Once executed, Athena creates the table and registers it in the Glue Data Catalog, making it ready for queries.